This is Evening News in tonight's headlines. Guyana ratifies treaty for domestic workers. Man charged for stabbing taxi driver to death. And temporary location for Lavashore Secondary School students. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us for your Friday, September 6, 2013 edition of the Evening News. And now for the news in detail. Guyana is the first Caribbean country to have ratified its support for the landmark treaty for domestic workers under the International Labour Organization (ILO), which came into effect on September 5 of this year. Whitney Prasad reports.
Labour Minister Dr. Nanda Gopal has indicated that Guyana has signed on to the International Labour Organization (ILO) Convention 189 landmark treaty for domestic workers. Guyana is ranked number 1 among its Caribbean neighbours to have signed on to the treaty, which extends basic labour rights to domestic workers around the globe. Currently, there are at least 53 million children worldwide, not including child domestic workers, and this number is increasing steadily in developed and developing countries.
Where 15,000 odd workers benefited as a result of this action. With us ratifying the treaty and putting into train working conditions for these workers, all domestic workers are now covered, like workers in service stations, workers in restaurants and shops, and other similar categories of workers.
Gopal reiterated that the number adds to an estimated 10.5 million children worldwide, most of them underage, working as domestic workers in people's homes, of which 83% are women. The new convention becomes binding international law as of September 5, 2013. It needed ratification by 2 ILO member states. This, according to the minister, will set the stage for better workplace benefits, which would normally be guided by the lawful workplace stipulations.
We are hoping that we'll be able to have regulations for the construction industry as well as the forestry sector done very shortly.
Gopal said only recently a team of experts were in Guyana to assist in different areas, like being able to prepare regulations for the mining sector as is necessary under the occupational and safety health regulations. Domestic workers comprise a significant part of the global workforce in informal employment and are among the most vulnerable groups of workers. They work for private households, often without clear terms of employment, unregistered in any book, and excluded from the scope of labor legislation. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
The man accused of stabbing to death the taxi driver working outside of Barumbar was today remanded to prison after he appeared before Chief Magistrate Priyasunuran Bahari. Kurt Clark was charged with the murder of Jamal Fernandes. He was represented by attorney Peter Yu, who told the court that his client has received threats from persons telling him about what he will endure in prison. The alleged murder was committed on September 4 in the vicinity of Barumbar, while the deceased was in the company of 2 females. Clark was remanded to prison and the matter stands adjourned until September 20. The University of Guyana Senior Staff Association plans to petition the University Council decision to dismiss the bursar and his assistant. The details in this story. Head of the University of Guyana Senior Staff Association, Dr. Pat Francis, said that the decision to fire the bursar of the university, John Searam, and his senior accountant, Hazel Bentic, is totally unacceptable on many grounds. The UGSSA head told this newscast in an interview that while an audit was carried out by persons from the University of the West Indies which found a few discrepancies, there was not enough evidence to sanction them.
The report says categorically that there were no malfeasance. Further, the report says what we already know are the problems existing in the system. We didn't even need the auditors to come to tell us that. We know that the university is operating on a deficit budget. We know that there are insufficient funds to manage our finances and to manage the university. And therefore, if the university's doors are still open, it must mean that some set of irregularities must be occurring in order for that to be so.
Dr. Francis said the UGSSA is appealing on the ground that the dismissals were done prematurely since the report was a draft one used to make the decision.
Based on the action of the council, we are now going to petition the council to rescind the decision based on evidence that they were not given sufficient information on which they took their decision. So, for example, the Vice Chancellor had asked the two officers to submit to him in writing responses to questions which he had subsequent to the receipt of the auditor's reports. Those answers were never tabled in the council. The council has not seen those documents, and we feel that that is a holding back of vital information with which the council would have probably been able to make a better decision.
Dr. Francis added that it is clear that the officers in the bursary and the senior administrative group, which includes the vice-chancellors, must have taken a decision that they will try to manage the university and keep its doors open. The independent special audit into the University of Ghana account was undertaken to determine the state of its finances in an effort to find a solution to the huge deficit it faces. The termination of Bentix and CRAM's contracts was agreed when the council convened on Thursday, August 22, to discuss, among other matters, the findings of the auditors. Meanwhile, the audit of cash in bank and accounts receivable processes identified key financial and information technology deficiencies, including improper segregation of duties, user access and reconciliation with regard to the payroll function. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. Box joins us to report that a 4-member technical team of specialists headed by the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI, are in Guyana for a 3-month period to spearhead Phase 2 of its technical support to the Ghana government in the areas of climate change and energy. Let's take a look.
The technical team, consisting of 3 specialists under the leadership of the director of the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI, Dr. Rudra Raju, will be focusing on hinterland projects. Guyana Rice Development Board, GRDB, Guyana Water Incorporated, GWI, Guyana Energy Agency, GEA, and the Guyana Sugar Corporation, GAISUCU. During an exclusive interview with this newscast, the team revealed that works within the area will begin next week.
How these industries' performance of the equipments are there, how these utilization of energy is conducted. The GAISUCU or the rice mills or the sawmills and all these kind is all very specifically related to the energy sector which we are addressing. Whatever the improvements, even a small improvements of no investment or low cost measures also, it will directly relate to the CO2 mitigation. All the measures, if somebody is saving some amount of energy in their plant, it is nothing but the reduction in the carbon emissions. And at the same time, see, most of these measures, implementation and other things, it creates a lot of economy. See, you take a small public building where you are replacing your old windows with the new windows. That also gives a lot of employment.
The team said its focus will be on saving energy and the equipment components of the sectors. It was stated that the team will work on implementing solar-powered streetlights as well as hinterland micro-hydroelectricity projects. The major focus of the team is to reduce the cost and evaluated performances of the sectors and an overall diagnostic for future investments. They will be working with both private and public sector institutions along the technical lines of operation. Engagements between the Guyana government and TERI commenced in 2011 following a memorandum of understanding aimed at providing support to Guyana's climate change initiatives and the Low Carbon Development Strategy, LCDS. March 2012 marked the first mission to Guyana where the focus was on assessing energy initiatives like solar energy for lighting, microhydro, and improving energy efficiency in the different sectors of Guyana's economy. This is Umadevi Box reporting for the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for more of the Evening News. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi will be leading a delegation comprising high-level security sector and revenue protection officials to meet with their counterparts in neighboring Suriname today and Saturday. According to a government information agency, GINA release, the meeting will be held under the Presidential Engagement Initiative, the brainchild of former President Barrett Jagdeo and Suriname's head of state Desi Boudiser. The last meeting of this nature was held in 2011. The delegation will include Guyana Defense Forces Chief of Staff Rear Admiral Gary Best, Acting Police Commissioner Leroy Brummel, Guyana Revenue Authority GRA Commissioner General Khurshid Sattar, Head of the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit of Kanu, James Singh, and other senior security sector officials. The focus will continue to be on expanding cooperation ties between the two countries, particularly in the areas of law enforcement and revenue protection. The government says the opposition has misinformed the Guyanese populace about the unemployment level in Guyana, and as such, it should seek to educate its members about the programs and initiatives taken by the administration, which has helped to create massive employment for thousands of Guyanese. Whitney Prasad interviewed the Minister of Labour on this issue and filed this report.
Labour Minister Dr. Nanda Gopal says he strongly condemns false statements by the main opposition party, a Partnership for National Unity, suggesting that Ghana's youths are struggling with unemployment. He lamented that the APN News members are clearly working with old statistics, as government has been vibrant in its efforts to ensure no person is unemployed.
We are affording the opportunity for young people. No young child, no young man or woman can feel insecure that there is not an opportunity under our program. We can take care of all of their needs. And so we are asking them and inviting them to join our programs so that we can place them. We are also saying to the young people who are unemployed, who have left university and high school qualified, and they cannot secure jobs, to register at our Central Recruitment and Manpower Agency.
The minister said that government have been training young people who are school dropouts through the Board of Industrial Training, qualifying them with the right skills and abilities to secure well-paying jobs. A few weeks ago, opposition leader David Granger had voiced his opinion on the matter, stating that the country is sitting on a time bomb where unemployment is concerned. He was speaking at an APNU meeting last Friday, where he cited a decade-old ILO survey, which found that 44% of working-age population was not economically active. However, Dr. Gopal said that the party is working with old statistics and should get up to date with time and progress already made in this area.
In some countries, they're called the NEET. That is, they're not in employment, they're not in education, and they're not in training. NEET. A Partnership for National Unity is warning the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration that this country is sitting on a time bomb of youth unemployment. The government's delay in dealing with the jobs crisis and its disregard for measures to defuse the jobs crisis could cause a social explosion.
The People's Progressive Party Civic has also said that the remarks are disbelieving, especially since the APNU has continuously voted against several major developmental projects, which would have created a multitude of employment opportunities. The party said while the statement by Granger is perplexing, it hopes that this serves as a reality check, which would move APNU into first gear as it relates to its participation in national development and the creation of job opportunities. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
After an early morning fire partially gutted the Lavenshore Secondary School located at Canal No. 1 Polder, West Bank, Demerara on Wednesday, the students are yet to return to school, but plans are being made to place them at a temporary location. More in this Whitney Prasad report.
According to the school's head teacher, Althea Daniel Stewart, the Two Brothers Primary School will be used as a temporary location and will house grades 8th to 11 students until the school is repaired or other arrangements are made by the Education Ministry. It was revealed that classes will resume on Monday for grade 8 to 11 students. This newscast understands that the center will be housed in a building set aside by Kamal Singh, a contractor in the area. The head teacher told told this newscast via telephone that it is the best alternative given to her because it will house all the students at one location. Emphasizing that the incident is a major setback, she said that she hopes the ministry will work assiduously to have them placed in one central location. The school was gutted by fire which reportedly started about 7:45 hours following two loud explosions in the home economics department of the secondary school, resulting in students and teachers scampering to safety. The explosions are suspected to have come from the two gas cylinders in the lower flat of the two-story building, which housed the administrative office, library, and staff room. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
In light of World Suicide Prevention Day being observed on September 10, a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, is urging government to implement stringent measures to tackle suicide in the country. Sabatini Daniels attended the press conference and filed this report.
APNU's Shadow Health Minister Dr. Aubrey Norton said his party is not pleased with how government has handled suicide prevention in Guyana, blaming the administration for the current state of the suicide rate here. As a result, the main opposition party is urging government to create a new plan to deal with this issue at all levels and across all 10 administrative regions in the country. When asked what measures the party sees fit for the government to put in place to tackle this issue, Dr. Norton only supplied one answer, and that is for the government to train more psychologists and make them freely available to the public.
And to move this idea of dealing with psychiatric problems only at the psychiatric institutions, to take it to the community, particularly since suicide seems to be happening in the rural communities.
Despite the cries that the suicide rate in Guyana is on an upward spiral, Dr. Norton only supplied statistics up to 2006, adding that the party's database on suicide is not up to date. However, to defend the party's unpreparedness to supply recent statistics off the top of his head, he quoted statistics from Region 2 this year. Besides this, suicide has had some negative impact on the Guyanese society, especially among Indo-Guyanese, and is reported to be more prevalent in Region 6. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The periodic power outages that have hit Georgetown and neighboring communities were caused due to torrential rains, the Ghana Power and Light said today. But the company foresees a bright future with the completion of its 3 multi-million-dollar projects. Whitney Prasad brings us the details.
Despite the prolonged period of constant power outages across the country over the past few weeks, the Ghana Power and Light has assured consumers that there will be less of such events with the upgrading of the networks around the country. According to GPL's Chief Executive Officer Bart Indial, the outages are linked to the network-related problems. He said 2 of the transmission lines from Garden of Eden recently experienced an elevated level of lightning activities. These lines, he said, were built in the 70s and were not designed to withstand such lightning activities. This is a major contributing factor to the power outages.
Currently, there are a group of experts working in GPL who are configuring and designing a new program, which would be looking at about 150 kilometers of network. Okay. As we move beyond that, we are forecasting that we'll continue the upgrade of our low voltage network. The investment that the Chinese are implementing now will deal with our high voltage network largely. So we'll have to continue the upgrade of our low voltage network. We're looking at a combination of internal resources and, of course, financing coming from through the government, from external agencies at concessional levels. On the non-technical side, the pilot program for the automatic metering infrastructure that we're hoping to complete this year would inform a massive program which will roll out over the next 5 years. And we'll have to look at the increase in demand trend, and we'll have to forecast that forward. We'll have to look at the growth projections for the economy. We have to look and see who are coming into the country to invest in major facilities, whether it's in production or commercial services or industrial activities, whatever it is, we have to forecast those things coming online, and we have to ensure that they flow into demand and energy forecast.
Turning his attention to the 26-megawatt plant that the company is building in Vredenhoop, West Bank, Demerara, he noted that this will deal with the generation issues around the country. However, he admitted that while steps are being taken to enhance electrical supply to the demands for electricity continues to rise at an alarming rate. In fact, GPL is working on a 5-year development and expansion program to facilitate the needs of consumers. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
Human Services and Social Security Minister Jennifer Webster says that her ministry will establish a safe house for victims of trafficking in persons, TIP. Webster was addressing the opening ceremony for a TIP Training of Trainers workshop held earlier this week. Webster said that the administration of the Ministry of Labour, Human Services and Social Security intends to erect a shelter specifically to house victims of trafficking in persons. It will provide accommodation for TIP victims and their families and provide life skills training opportunities as it seeks to empower them and help them in continuing to improve their quality of life. The new U.S. Embassy charged the affairs has also noted that this year the Guyana government has made significant advances and delivered a strong blow to human traffickers. The Amerindian Heritage Month Craft and Food Exhibition and Cultural Night ended on Thursday evening on a high note, but with mixed views on the overall response from vendors. Sabatini Daniels has more.
Scores of persons were in attendance on the final night of the event, which ran from September 2 to 5. On sale were a variety of indigenous jewelry such as beads and necklaces, while the food exhibition afforded Guyanese the opportunity to taste a wide variety of dishes prepared and used by the Amerindians. Many of the exhibitors noted that being a part of the exhibition over the years has aided them significantly to financially support their families, adding that they hoped the exhibition would have extended into the weekend.
For me, last year was much more better, maybe because of the weather. For the first night, the weather wasn't good. Everybody was walking in water, and we moved out here. It was much more convenient for the people and for us too.
Well, it has been good on the first day. The second, the third day was not good. But as you can see, tonight has been very good, and the crowd has been very big. And I can assure you that all the things that I've had would be done.
Quite different from the beginning.
Quite different? Different in what ways?
In sales, in organizing, the system has really changed up. It costs us a little more. It costs us more.
The sales is not going so well for now. I don't know later if it would, the things will be sold.
The month is being observed under the theme Honoring Our Culture, Advancing Our Future. The next activity to mark Amerindian Heritage Month is the Heritage Village celebration in Karasabai, scheduled to take place tomorrow. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Attorney Nigel Hughes has returned to the post of chairman of the Alliance for Change, AFC, despite controversy surrounding his position as company secretary of the Amila Falls Hydropower Project, Inc. During a press conference, Hughes disclosed that he was withdrawing his resignation because of his party support and confidence in his leadership. He told reporters that after a period of reflection and consultation, the party has expressed that his decision to leave politics and resign from the position of chairman of the AFC should be reconsidered. His colleagues and support from the public, he said, contributed largely to him reconsidering. On August 6, Hughes offered his resignation to the party after what he said was a clear attempt to tarnish the name of the AFC relative to its publicly stated positions on the Amila Hydro project. Join us after these messages for your Evening News Sportscast, sponsored by Macor. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport. The Athletics Association of Ghana, AAG, and furniture giant Courts on Thursday teamed up to launch a third Courts 10K and 3K health walk aimed at giving the nation's best long-distance athletes an opportunity to show off their talent. The launching was held at the Ghana Olympic Association headquarters on High Street, Kingston, Georgetown. Tristan Joseph reports.
Athletes across the nation will match strides against each other on September 22nd in the Courts 10 kilometers road race and 3 kilometers health walk set to start at 6 hours in front of the Courts Furniture Store on Main Street. At the launching of the event held on Thursday at the Guyana Olympic Association headquarters on High Street, Public Relations Officer for Courts, Kester Abrams, cited that the event is for all Guyanese and not just the athletes.
As you know, Courts is very, very serious about the promotion of health, promotion of good lifestyles, and promotion of athletes and young people of the country. So this 10K race, the annual Courts 10K race, is very suited towards fulfilling all of those responsibilities that we have, corporate responsibilities that we would have.
Abrams, during the launch, and revealed the budget for the event along with the prize money for the winner of the event.
This year we're spending in excess of $2 million to carry off the event. It's going to be the prize money again. It's going to be for the male, female. It's going to be $100,000 maximum. I mean, that's a great. I think it's Mr. Hudson might probably say this is the biggest prize offering for a 10K race in the country.
President of the Athletics Association of Ghana, Aubrey Hudson, was at hand for the launching and thanked Courts for the staging of the event.
And I want to also send out a big thank you to the Board of Directors and management of Courts for continuing to partner with the AEG in promotion of athletics and athleticism in our country. This Courts 10K, as is clearly stated before, it's the third one since they will have come back on board. And we want to look forward down the years for continued support and sponsorship for the 10K race. This is our calendar. It has become a calendar event on the AG's calendar.
Marketing manager for Courts, Pernell Cummins, issued a challenge to the Guyanese nation to test their fitness against some of Guyana's best athletes.
I must say that Courts will continue to support the 10K run. As they say, a fit nation is a productive nation, and the 10K run does require you to be fit, and it also encourages you to get fit. And as the President and Kester said, I encourage those persons that run in the park, run in the seawall, walk, to come out and take part in the 10K run. I know there will be serious athletes there who will be competing for the prizes, but I think the fun in it will be the other persons coming out and taking part, just testing their mettle and seeing how fit they are.
The Courts 10 kilometers road race is in its third year since it was revamped after a 10-year absence and is expected to attract Guyana's top distance athletes, which should include distance king Cleveland Ford.
The local golf season is expected to resume this weekend after a prolonged break due to recent inclement weather, officials of the Lusignan Golf Club have disclosed. Vice President Dave Mohammed said the plans are onstream to run off a club tournament to get golfers in shape for several major tournaments planned for the remainder of 2013. Mohammed said the prolonged rainy season has taken a toll on events at the club, but once tournaments resume, the club will be very active again. Among the tournaments expected to be played off are the annual Ghana Open, the Digicel 2-Day Classic, Courts Furniture Store Anniversary Tournament, and the Players' Cup sponsored by Citizens Bank. Demerara Distillers Limited, DDL, under their Pepsi brand in collaboration with the Ghana Cricket Board, GCB, launched the 2013 edition of the Inter-County 50-over round robin competition on Friday at the Georgetown Cricket Club, GCC Pavilion on Regent Street, Georgetown. Rajiv Bisnaut was there and he filed this report.
The Inter-County 50-over tournament, which gets underway on September 21st, forms part of the preparation for the upcoming regional tournament. It will be used as a benchmark to select the local squad to participate in the regional limited overs competition, which is slated for January next year. Speaking to the media at the launching, GCB President Drew Bahadur emphasized the importance of the tournament to Guyana's preparation. He further stated that the tournament cannot be underestimated, since the best possible team will be selected to represent Guyana. The GCB President said he was happy with the commitment of DDL to continue sponsorship of the tournament.
I would like to thank Pepsi for once again coming on board despite the many challenges in sponsoring this competition. Pepsi has been the sponsor of this competition for the past 15 years, And I want to thank them. It probably would have been branded maybe under another name, which is the family of DDL. This year in particular is Pepsi. I want to thank them for their continued support despite the many challenges, and implore upon them so that we can continue to have them on board.
Meanwhile, DDL Pepsi brand executive Larry Wells stated that the company was once again pleased to partner with the GCB in hosting this year's tournament.
Pepsi continues to sponsor several grassroots programs which are intended to develop cricket at a local level. We recognize that investment at the developmental stage is critical if we are to continue to perform on the big stage. It is for this reason that this particular tournament is important to us. This tournament gives an opportunity for our youngsters to showcase their talent, and it's out of this tournament that the selection is done for the Guyana National Regional 50 Overs team.
Meanwhile, the tournament will see teams receiving bonus points. For every team with scores in excess of 300 runs will receive 2 bonus points. In addition, the losing team with scores in excess of 300 runs will be awarded 1 bonus point, while 2 bonus points will be awarded to the team that dismisses their opponents below 150 runs. Round 1 of the tournament will see a clash between Essequibo and Demerara. Round 2 is scheduled for Tuesday, September 24th between Demerara and Berbice. Round 3 is fixed for Thursday, September 26th, where Berbice face Essequibo. All matches will be played at the famous GCC ground border. The 2 top teams will clash in the final on September 29 at the Albion Community Centre ground. All matches are scheduled to start at 9 hours.
Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Ghana Times newspaper, which can be picked up from vendors across the country. If you're not reading our newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, do tune into Radio Ghana Inc. RGI on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Your Brit reports are next. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Denver Harbour Bridge will be closed on Saturday, September 7 at 5 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Saturday, September 7 at 5 hours 05 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Friday, September 6, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us.